What's going on? So you just landed on Fundamental 4, which is Know Your Why. I'm glad that you made it this far in the course, or if you haven't, thank you for joining me. I just wanted to make sure that you understand that we started at Fundamental number 1, which is higher leverage skills are worth more. And now after the other 3 videos, we're at Know Your Why, Fundamental number 4. This is an important one, so let's dive into it. So knowing your why, what does that mean? Well, everything you do starts with why. That's why Simon Sinek wrote the book Start With Why, because why is so important. The why for everything is so damn important. If you've ever heard of the book Atlas Shrugged, that's one of the most popular fiction novels ever created. But what Ayn Rand was trying to say is that when you ask someone casually in conversation why they do something, they often shrug and go, I don't know. And so that is exactly what Atlas is doing while he's holding the whole world. I don't know. And so the whole thing, yeah, I'll do it one more time because I know it's pretty funny. I don't know. Anyways, Tim Berzins actually from timberzins.com gave me that little insight to Atlas Shrugged and the overall meaning of this story. When you know your why, everything becomes crystal clear throughout your day because you're not wandering throughout your day wondering what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm actually going to link below the Skills vs. Habits video that we just filmed because I think that's a really important message to understand, is that when you have all these ingrained habits in yourself and these skills are what builds upon these habits, but when you know your why, you're not intentionally training different skills to build bad habits, but instead you're making sure that you understand why you're doing everything throughout the day. It's like in life, if you never understand the why for anything, then you're really never going to be able to master it. So knowing your why is so dang important. But before we jump into that, I do have to clarify there's 2 different types of whys that I like to think about. There's the macro why and then there's the micro why. And these are going to be completely different, but they're going to tie in together because your macro why is going to almost be the purpose for why you think you exist and what you think your role in his life is. But the micro why needs to feed into that because otherwise this isn't going to have the amount of energy and the amount of intention set on it actually allow it to come to fruition. So let's start with the macro. Your macro why is so important, and if you don't know it, then I don't know why you're doing most of the things you're doing. Neither do you. What that means is that there's some type of unconscious and subconscious why going on in your head that is making you conduct behaviors correctly or not correctly, which is making you do your work or not do your work. All these different things. For me, it's making every single person that I come in contact with, whether it's in person, whether it's through the camera, whether it's on the internet, or whether it's I write one thing on a blog post somewhere and it gets beamed out and it's sent to someone through mail to a country that doesn't have internet. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Every single person that I meet, I want to influence into having some sort of higher quality experience and to be a little bit better just for having met me. And not from a narcissistic point of view, right? I will always take the hit, and if by me taking the hit it helps someone else, then that's what I want to do. That's why I've created Heightened Living. That's why I want to help you. So once you know your why like that, your macro why, then you'll understand why every single thing that you're doing throughout the day is structured that way. And you'll get to actually analyze your day and analyze all the actions you do and realize if you're doing them for the right reason or the wrong reason. If when you filter them, they go into your macro why or they don't go into your macro why, because anything that's not feeding into this macro why should be pushed aside. On the other hand, then we have micro whys. Now micro whys are structured a bit different. With a micro why, it's going to be something that's a smaller action that you normally wouldn't think about, but once you start to get under your belt the mindset of thinking about all the different whys throughout the day, it's going to become so much easier because when someone asks you if you want an apple, boom, little micro why trigger, then it's like, why would I want that apple? Oh yeah, I'm trying to be healthy. Oh yeah, I haven't eaten in a while. Oh yeah, this is more of a skill to build before you start to build the selection of yes or no to what it's going to be. But ultimately though, it should feed into your macro. So for me, helping people along the way, no matter how I influence them or how I come into contact with them, I'm going to need better fuel. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take that apple because I know I want the nutrients to keep my mind right, to de-stress my body, make sure ATP is going, to live longer, to make sure that all these things are happening, which then allow me, okay, cool, now everybody that I know is becoming better because I'm becoming better. A lot of people don't realize if that's your why, you can influence everyone through thought alone, because when you're happy and you enter a room, the energy changes. When you're sad and you enter a room, the energy drops dramatically. You do create this reality around you, and I want you to know that, but it does start with your why. If you know your why for all of your micro reasons, for all of your macro reasons, for everything in life, and every task that you do, you start to understand that why behind it, which is giving you back the conscious ability, the free will to choose what you're doing, then it becomes such a fun thing to do, because you're like, no, why? Why would I do that? And someone asks you something, you say why, and they've never thought about it, and it triggers it in their head, and it's almost a ripple effect. And it keeps going, and it goes to everybody, because the more we start to think about these unconscious and subconscious patterns that we've ingrained into ourselves, the better that we're going to be as a person ourselves. This is an investment in yourself, similar to the last fundamental 3, invest in yourself. Knowing your why and knowing why you do things is going to be so important. And if why you do things is to invest in yourself, well, then let that be said and known, and then allow yourself to proceed from that. So that's just a brief primer on fundamental number 4, know your why. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this fundamental series. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, whatever it may be, put it below. I love to keep the fundamentals in open and working dialogue and help you find your why if you want help with that. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in fundamental number 5, use your resources.